Guardians, welcome to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video I'm going to be talking about some of the tips that I have for how to manage multiple targets when you're sniping. A lot of people have this problem that they've told me about where when they go up against more than one opponent, they kind of freak out after their first kill and then just kind of spam the trigger and empty their mag and choke hard. So first things first here, one of the things you'll notice is after I take my first shot, I see there's another guy, but I go ahead and duck and then peek, duck and then peek. And this is kind of a song and dance you want to do where you kind of duck to evade any potential shots, peek and take your shot, then duck, peek and take your shot, then duck. And then here I'm just going to back up and fully reload my magazine and then step forward, but notice the placement of my reticle is up over the left shoulder of my teammate. There's no point in putting my reticle on him, obviously. I want to watch over his shoulder. So that's how that whole engagement played out. And why do you want to do this whole duck and shoot motion? Well, it's going to give you the opportunity to scope out, see your radar, and then sight in again. And sometimes that's going to save your life. And that's what happened here in this instance, where I sighted in, I took my shot for my second kill. And when I zoomed out, and you'll see this here, I was able to notice that there's the third enemy was pretty close to me, and so I had the opportunity to get the quick body shot on him. So note here, I took my first shot, got my first kill, step back up into the engagement, take shot number 2, and then when I zoom out, notice on the radar there's a guy pretty close to me. So I just backpedal. I know to chuck a nade to prime him. That way all I need to do is get a body shot and get the quick scope there for the body shot to finish off the kill. So you're going to want to get into this habit of shooting, ducking, kind of peek fire. And once you get kind of into that rhythm and you learn how to do that well, you're really going to have, you're going to find yourself having a lot more control. And a lot of people say that's their biggest issues. They sort of lose control in these engagements. They kind of freak out, spam the trigger, and then everything goes to crap because of it. Next thing I want to talk about is managing choke points. When I look down this alleyway, I see 2 choke points. Here's the first one to the right side of the pillar. Here's the second one to the left side of the pillar. And now I'm going to get 2 kills back to back because I juggle both of these 2 alleyways. So just knowing where to set your sights can really affect the way that an engagement plays out. When you learn to look at the screen and then limit where you're actually going to set your sights, because the screen's actually a pretty big place. And so here I look straight into another choke point after those first 2 kills and note where the orb is. It's right in this opening, right in this doorway. So knowing the map and knowing when you come around a corner where you want your sights to be set is a big factor. And then again, this is going to be 4 choke point kills back to back to back. Again, I set my sights in one of these 2 alleyways. See a guy starting to peek there, take the shot, see, look where he is, right in that opening. And so it makes for compensating for where he's at pretty easy to do. So learn to manage choke points. Here's another example. So you get that first kill right in that doorway. I back out, sight back in, and get the second kill right there in that same doorway, that same choke point. So choke points are a huge factor. Now here's an opening that's serving as a choke point, and I'm coupling the whole shoot duck thing with managing a choke point. So I'm able to get 2 kills there, and then after that I get the third guy for the team wipe. But note how this played out. There's 2 guys, but I'm limiting the engagement. I'm standing off to the right so that I can't actually see the second guy while I'm focused on the first. You want to do that. You want to limit the engagement so it's a 2 1-on-1s instead of a 1-on-2, because your chances of winning a 1-on-2 are pretty poor. So learn how to manipulate those sight lines. You peek so you can just see the first guy shoot, duck, peek so you can see the second guy shoot, duck. And then again, I use the cover of that pillar to switch to my sniper rifle to finish off the final guy to get the team wipe. So these are some strategies you're going to want to implement. Being able to get into this rhythm of fire, duck, so you can see your radar, so that you can reset your sights quickly if you need to, because it's actually faster to zoom out and then acquire a new target and snap in on them than it is to stay sighted in and sweep your scope across the field to acquire your next target. It's faster to snap out and snap in. And that's why I recommend practicing sort of your snapping in on patrol. And you'll find that that's going to be pretty helpful if you can get into a rhythm of actually snapping in relatively close to where you want to, because that's how I was able to get this quick headshot here. I snapped in right where I wanted to. Now notice again, here's an instance where I'm using a choke point. I know that two guys are pursuing. I heard a golden gun, so I dropped my super right on that choke point, so they walk right into it. Second guy comes through, and I'm using the choke point again. Bam, get the shot on him. And all I needed was a body shot. And this is just an example of utilizing these small choke points to manage multiple targets. And again, right when they come off the respawn, I know relatively where they're going to be, and I use that doorway, that opening, as a means of bottlenecking them. So these are the things that are really going to give you the edge against multiple players. Getting into this habit of snapping in and snapping out, snapping in, snapping out. Getting into the habit of limiting the sight line so that you can only see one person at a time. Learning how to bottleneck people. Here's an instance where I've got my sights set and I'm waiting with my sights relatively at head level. Makes for getting these snipes pretty easy to do. So learn how to do these things pretty regularly and consistently. Commit them to memory, and you'll find that your ability to manage multiple targets is going to be greatly increased because of it. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you. Please feel free to give me any feedback. I'd love to know your experiences once you apply these things. Thanks for stopping by, guys.